Well, guys, we're back again. It's another episode of Into the West Comics. We are maskless and
Yeah.
pantless. No, we're wearing pants.
I got pants on.
Yeah, we're wearing pants today, but no masks this week. We want to give our faces a break. We try to breathe a little bit in the studio this week. Sonny, how are you?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
I'm feeling good. I'm very caffeinated, so I'm feeling good.
I'm drinking this like it's new. It's like Bang, but it's there's all natural flavors and it's not caffeinated. So
It looks like it has it's like Joker colors.
oh yeah, kind of like
Oh, we're gonna talk about that in a second. That's a little preview.
there it is.
Guys, we got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. We want to mention really quick, 3 weeks from tonight, we're going to have our first ever live show. It'll be live streaming Thursday night, October 29th, in the studio. We're going to have some special guests. We're going to have a call-in or two, probably at least one.
Yeah, at least one.
At least one call-in. We're going to have some giveaways.
Mhm.
It's going to be a fun night. There's going to be maybe some costumes, maybe some costume changes. I'm not really sure how we're going to work all that, but
Okay.
October 29th, make sure you guys are tuned in. It's going to be a live stream show.
It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be a little longer episode than usual because we're usually like just under an hour. I think it's going to be just over an hour
Yeah.
because we're going to try to put a lot of stuff packed in to this episode in particular. That is going to be, I guess we would call it Mandalorian Eve, because that is the
Ooh.
night before Mandalorian Season 2 premieres
Yeah, man.
on the Plus.
On the Disney Plus.
So we're excited to see that happen. We hope that you guys tune in. Make sure that you are subscribing. Share our show, please. Comment, like. We like all those things.
We appreciate all the love.
So, Sonny, we have a lot of stuff to go over.
Yeah.
But the first thing we're going to start with, and your Bang soda ties in so well to this. Let's talk about it. There's been lots of buildup. We've been reading all the tie-ins. We've been reading all the chapters of this big story that's been played out by James Tynion IV. Joker War came to a conclusion.
Yeah.
Did it come to a big explosive bang? Or did it come to a thud? What were your thoughts?
I think the lead up to it was so good. I was so stoked on this, and then it was kind of like the wrap up was a little underwhelming, dude. I think it's not like they wrapped up the ending of an arc. They kind of just paused something and kind of left us on somewhat of a cliffhanger. I know 101, 2, and 3 are going to be, backtracking and showing some stuff, but what was that at the end, dude?
So, just to give you guys a little bit of context, leading into Joker War, the last part of Joker War, the previous issue of Batman 99, Harley Quinn and Batman are kind of having this moment, saying that she's got to end this, he's got to end it, or she's got to end it.
Right.
That there has to be some type of conclusion to this. That the Joker essentially has to die,
Yep.
or she's got to die. If he decides not to let the Joker pass.
Makes him choose. You know what I mean?
Basically.
There's he's done enough. How many lives, even in comics or movies, how many lives has the Joker taken?
Right.
It's the one versus the many. Do you think this guy should just stand around and continue on doing this? And Batman just won't kill him. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know, man. Do you think that just because for Batman's sake, do you think he's afraid to let him go? He won't be Batman
Like he
anymore?
can't quit him.
Right.
It's like a bad marriage or something.
Right.
It's like, we're not going to split up.
Right. I mean, he tells him, at the end, he's like, "Hey, man, you have the means to get out of here."
Then why does he tell him that?
It's when Harley comes in,
Mhm.
and she says, "Hey, she mentioned in an issue before, she was like, "Hey, if you're going down and there's something wrong, I'm gonna step in. Like, I'll
Yep.
step in the back and I'll let you do your thing. But if you start losing and something starts going wrong, I'm stepping in." And that's exactly what she did.
She's sort of decided to take this on her own to try to put some type of conclusion to this whole thing. Basically, Gotham's been turned on its head.
100%.
Financially, Bruce Wayne has been attacked.
Mm-hmm.
We had a zombified Alfred.
Crazy.
I mean, all kinds of different head games have been taking place over the course of this, and it's just so much buildup
It is.
to get this type of conclusion. It just kind of made me feel like, it felt kind of predictable.
Yeah.
And I think to another degree, James Tinney has been doing a great job as far as introducing all these new characters.
Oh,
We
man.
mentioned Punchline.
Punchline's awesome.
Her story arc, it just
ended.
It just kind of
paused.
ends. They don't really go into developing anything else. They introduce characters like Clown Hunter, which
Yeah.
we know now that Clown Hunter is going to play a part in this next arc
Mm-hmm.
that's going to happen after
Yeah,
Batman
you
100.
said something before that was kind of interesting. We'll probably talk about at the end of all this that
Yes.
I really do kind of agree with.
So there's going to be, they had like an epilogue to the issue. It was an oversized issue. It was kind of like, it was almost a trade. I mean, it's a thick book.
Yeah.
It's a thick issue. They almost have like this epilogue at the end, and it's like it's a guy who is like a classmate of Bruce Wayne's.
Right.
And I guess he's going to compete with Batman for the title of the Guardian or whatever
Of Gotham.
Of Gotham.
Right.
Yeah.
So it almost gives me I don't know, because like at the end of the issue, I know we're going way far at the end. He's in some type of not like a warehouse. It was like a ship or something. Like this guy has
He's
money.
got a lair.
He has a lair. He has a suit.
He might be in the studio.
He could be in the snack cave right now.
He could be.
Hope he's not. But with a name like that. But seriously, I think you were talking about Punchline and her arc kind of just dissipating. I think the coolest thing was she knew something was going wrong when Joker let off a couple of bombs. She was like, wait. That building was supposed to blow up a while from now.
Right.
Things are getting speeded up. Joker's not winning this fight. And then Nightwing comes in. Enter Nightwing. He's like, you're not fighting some dude that forgot a lifetime of training. You're fighting me. You know what I mean? And boom, the fight ends quick.
And I think that part of it was cool too, is that again, giving you more background context and more history. Nightwing is shot and he loses his memory.
Right.
This is a while ago.
Mhm.
And in Nightwing and in Batman, whenever titles have been crossing over,
Right.
he hasn't really been Nightwing yet.
No, he's some other
Again,
character. And
He's been Rick Grayson.
Rick
or
Grayson.
And so he's not, he doesn't identify with the Nightwing persona.
Not at all.
He's kind of lost.
Right.
And that part of it was kind of cool. Actually, there's a lot of good dialogue in the issue overall.
No, there is. I think the story itself, everything up until this issue, everything has been awesome.
Yeah.
I think
So the Batgirl issues were good.
dude, Oracle coming back,
Yeah.
and then she does the emergency broadcast. You know, she's like, if anything happens, call this number. Everybody stay inside, and it has that picture of all the Bat family in different situations, kind of just going hard, fighting crime.
Yeah.
And I think Nightwing says it himself. He's like, hey, it feels good to have you on here again, watching over us. I think it was awesome. And then we get to Joker fighting Batman. I think that's exactly where the transition happens. Barbara Gordon's like, I'm sure he has something way bigger going on, and it flashes to the next page.
Yeah.
Joker with a gun to Batman. He's what did he say? He was like, I always knew that you hated guns, but I didn't know it's just because there's so many places for bombs in this utility belt.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's they have a fun little back and forth for a little while.
And I think too is that they're always with any of these like crossovers when they go and they have the tie-ins and they go across multiple titles, because this story was contained mostly to Batman.
Right.
There's tie-ins with Detective, Red Hood, Batgirl, Nightwing. All that stuff has tie-ins.
Correct.
But the story is contained within what they were calling the tie-ins, Collateral Damage or something like that. I think they were calling the tie-ins.
Okay.
But the main story is within Batman, and you can read the Joker War parts all within the Batman issues.
Yeah, 100%.
And you get the gist of what's going on with the story. Why can't they just leave it open-ended? Like it's unknown
Right.
whether or not what happens.
Correct.
They could leave it open-ended.
Right.
And they have like this week's time passes.
Yeah,
and
Harley's
then-
in the hospital.
And then they're just moving on to the next thing.
Well, see, I think that was the part for me that I was like,
They kinda rushed it.
Yeah, they rushed it.
Mhm.
I mean, it was this slow build up for this whole time. I know you guys could have planned it out a little bit differently. The bomb could have went off. Joker's body could not have been found. There could have been whatever.
A lot of stuff
He
like
could have
that.
popped back up into the situation way later. So that moment between him and Harley, it's kind of like I'm questioning Batman and his morality. I'm like, why'd you tell him that? And like,
He's like, you got the stuff to figure it out. Good luck, bro.
and he dips out.
And
You know
he's
what I
like,
mean?
Peace. And
So
he just, see ya.
I think for me as a fan, and I wanted to see Bruce Wayne choose. Either I'm fully committing to Joker needs to be gone, and then Punchline could have rose up and been like the new big bad for a little bit. You could have rose the Joker with the Lazarus Pit somewhere down the line, but
Sure.
actually just end it and like make it a story arc and give us an ending, not kind of what we got.
And we're finding out now too that it may or may not be that James Tynion is going to be staying on for Batman for a while longer. He might not be on Batman for much longer, but we know that when Tom King had originally started this Batman run, when they did the Rebirth, that it was supposed to be 100 issues, and then they're going to end it. And whatever, because if Batman's not the top seller in DC
Right.
Comics, they pushed the panic button and they had to switch it up.
Of course.
And whatever Tom King had planned for those last 15, 20-ish issues of Batman,
Right.
that is now going to be condensed into this Batman Catwoman series that's going to start in December. I think that's going to be the conclusion of Tom King's Batman run, whatever it was going to be. And I just wonder how different the transition would have been of ending the arc of James Tynion versus wherever Tom King's stuff was going to end
Like,
up.
where does it fit in?
Right.
That's interesting, man.
Because they have different takes. I mean, just to give you a comparison, James Tynion wrote Detective Comics for like 25 or 30
years.
He wrote it for a while.
A long time.
And I mean, he had some really cool stories in there. He had a Tim Drake thing. He had a story with Clayface. He wrote some really cool stories within Detective Comics.
Right.
But Detective Comics, where it differs from Batman, I think, is it makes it more about Batman figuring out what they try to do, like these 1 and 2 and 3 story arcs,
Mhm.
just so that he can wrap it up. You know?
Yeah, because you got to put an ending to certain things, man. I think as going into a story, if I'm reading it, I don't always need a cliffhanger. I don't always want like for the continuation. Like,
but there's a lot of build up for this to
Correct.
get to the point that it did, and for it to kind of end, you're kind of like, that felt predictable.
Correct. I think the whole Ghostmaker, it's like it's kind of like the after credit scene. You watch Batman and Harley at the end, credits fall, and then afterwards you stay for a little bit longer
I
in
agree.
a Marvel movie, and then it's like you turn the page and it's like, oh, here's Ghostmaker. He's pissed off that
I'm gonna get you,
Batman's not doing your job. You know
I'm
what I
gonna
mean?
be the Guardian.
So I'm really interested. I'm
Whatever.
really interested to see how that character plays in. And like, what does he do? Is he just like a normal cat, just like Bruce Wayne, with a little bit too much money and a little bit too much time on his hands?
Is he crazy? Is he chill?
I'm pretty sure he's crazy, man.
Is he a vigilante? Is he trying to be a hero? Is he trying to challenge, like, you remember Gotham Girl and her brother? And
What's the guy's name in the white that carries the sword?
Azrael?
Azrael, which is sick. I love Azrael's arc.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna end up doing with this guy. I know too that they want to bring in Grifter.
He's already getting brought in.
Grifter's gonna be in this in some capacity going forward. We know that Clown Hunter is gonna be involved.
I'll be back.
I mean, they're bringing in another group of characters. Punchline at some point will probably be around again.
They're gonna break her out of jail.
Okay,
She'll be
they
back.
should make Punchline Nightwing's Joker and just skip the whole thing with Batman. They should put Punchline in the Nightwing series
and just make
and build Nightwing up.
that would be cool because they already had their little meet. He was like,
They had the little meet cute.
you know what I mean? Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Been out of town. I like that.
Okay, guys, let us know in the comments like what you thought about Joker War. We want to know what you thought. Did it live up to the hype? Did you wish for like 3 more parts of Joker War? Did you wish that it would have gone past Batman 100? Let us know what you think. I'm interested to see what people are thinking about it. I I know that somebody had a certain opinion about it, and we're going to get his feedback on it, I'm sure, soon, and we're looking forward to that. Um, this past weekend, okay,
Yeah.
we got the delay of the Walking Dead finale, which now is not going to be the finale.
It's technically not the finale. There's what, like 8 more, something more episodes to season 10,
And then there's going to be another season,
11, and then that's going to be the.
and then that's it.
We talked about it the last show,
Yeah.
kind of going into whatever happened, and it delayed so long because of that CGI scene at the end.
Yep.
We talked about it the other day. Don't you think they could have worked on that? Not in a group presence.
That took 4 months.
It was a really cool scene.
No, it looked great. I don't know if it would have taken that long to do it, but
The season finale was 44 minutes. That's very short for
they
what.
fill that stuff with so many commercials too. I mean, every Walking Dead episode, it's like you'll see the timestamp. It'll say it's an hour and 6 minutes.
And there's like a Chrysler commercial.
There's ads for every other thing that's associated with AMC.
Right.
And the other Walking Dead series, they advertise that, and they just fill it
No,
with
they
ads.
trying
and
to get
ads
their
and ads.
money.
I understand.
I think
How often are you watching AMC other than?
Walking Dead.
Yeah, I mean, now you're not watching. There's no more Breaking Bad.
No,
Breaking Bad's not walking through that door. Mad Men ain't walking through that door.
no. So they have. That's why I think that they have so many different things kind of going on. I mean, so there's the World Beyond, Fear's coming back. Daryl and Carol have a spin-off like road show type of thing. So it's going to be them.
Are they gonna ride motorcycles
They might.
like
I'm
Norman Reedus riding?
In
What's
Ride?
it called? Ride. Yeah, it's just
Called
called
Ride.
Ride. That's right.
I think it brings an opportunity to bring in high level actors for 1 week, and like they meet into a crew that's like in Las Vegas, and they they plug in some high level actor that's really cool, and it hypes up the show. But that's not till way down the line. You know what I mean?
It's a couple years away.
I think with them trying to do that, it's like The Walking Dead's not going to end. They're making
No, it's not.
clearly way too much money. But I want to find out where Rick is.
Yeah. So now it seems like they're finally bringing some connectivity between the three shows. We know that Fear the Walking Dead is coming back this Sunday. It's never happened before because there's never been three shows, but it's never happened to where all three of these shows are sort of intersecting.
Right.
But they are also so close proximity wise.
Yeah.
Is that you saw the latest episode of Walking Dead, you're seeing the premiere of World Beyond, and then the next Sunday you're getting more World Beyond and the premiere of Fear the Walking Dead. So you have like a recency type of thing that you can relate the three shows between.
And they're all connecting. The helicopter,
This symbol of the three
circles, and all that kind of stuff. The Commonwealth, if you're familiar with the comic, Eugene was searching for Stephanie, I believe.
I think her name is Stephanie. Yeah.
And they get jumped by these dudes in these what is it, like kind of like stormtrooper kind of vibes?
Yeah, so you see these guys all just kind of bum rush them at the end. And I thought that was kind of cool because
it's comic on point.
Yes,
they have the exact same
the
suit.
costumes are like they're legit. That
Right.
was like exact. Those guys are just they could cosplay and you'd be thinking you're watching. It was perfect.
It was good.
Okay, so there's a 6-issue storyline. It's later in Walking Dead.
Okay.
It's like probably in about 170-ish, and it's a 6-part series, 6-part run arc, whatever, within Walking Dead called the New World Order.
Okay.
And
probably
it's
those guys.
about these guys, these stormtrooper-looking guys that take Eugene and this group to
Commonwealth.
the Commonwealth, and then you start to meet whoever's going to be the head person at Commonwealth, and there's some other things that happen in the comic. I don't know how it's going to really play out because we don't know where Michonne is heading.
Right.
If Michonne is heading to this same,
I think Michonne's
place?
with that same settlement,
She might be.
or one of them, because she drifted off, and then what's the guy at the end that finds Connie? I keep forgetting his name,
I can't remember.
but he finds.
I'll tell you in 2 seconds. Though.
He finds
Well,
Connie.
maybe not 2 seconds.
He finds Connie. It's the guy that Michonne was with during like the Oceanside
And she
stuff.
finds the stuff, the Rick stuff.
So I'm thinking like they're gonna show Rick with the Rick beard, and he's like in a coal mine. He's doing some kind of slavery work or something type of thing, and they're gonna have to break him out, and he's not gonna remember his life and all that kind of stuff. Because if you bring Rick back in any of these seasons, boom, you're automatically gonna boost the popularity of these shows.
Absolutely.
You can do anything with it. I know he's supposed to have a movie spin-off.
Everybody loves Rick.
I loved Rick.
I mean, he's the sheriff.
He is the sheriff. In the first couple seasons, it always makes you want to question, like, is he doing the right thing? And then, like, you put yourself in his shoes, and you're like, he's leading these group of people without, like, it's a zombie apocalypse. He doesn't know what to do.
No.
You know what I mean?
He's the cave or whatever that gets
Imploded.
The character's name is Virgil.
Virgil.
Okay. There's the explosion in the cave.
Right.
How is she gonna be
She just
able
came
to,
out of nowhere.
Yeah, she just like, I'm alive. She's been in the cave, probably starving.
Right.
Remember, she can't hear.
No.
Uh,
Or communicate with Virgil.
yeah, she can't communicate with Virgil. So she just sees this guy sitting on the horse. She's probably scared of her mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna even care after I watched this on Sunday night.
Yeah.
World Beyond or The Walking Dead that we were waiting forever to see.
Because I got halfway through World Beyond, and you told me the last half is kind of where everything pops off.
It's crazy. So, long story short, I mean, you're gonna see. You watch the first episode of World Beyond.
Yeah.
I'm not really spoiling all that much. There's two sisters.
Mhm.
I think their names are Iris and I can't remember her name. And there's two sisters, and their father is some type of geneticist, scientist dude.
Right.
He gets taken by one of the members of the Commonwealth
So it's
to New York or
it's-
something like that, or
It's because
Philadelphia.
would you say it's Portland where they're
They're
at?
in Portland.
And they said there's 100 miles of bullcrap
Yes.
in the middle of them and wherever they're at.
and the city, because they're in Oregon, but they're not. I don't think they're in Portland.
Okay.
They're like 100 miles from Portland, so they're in the Northwest. So we know that like they're showing you a different perspective, like this being shot in a different country,
Right.
different part of the country.
Different place.
Yeah, we know that the show is all shot in like Atlanta.
Mhm.
I think they shoot all the Walking Dead
The main
series.
Walking
They're
Dead.
all shot in Georgia.
Right.
I think, but.
Well,
this
that's why
part
I
of the-
like. That's why I liked Fear, because it starts off in Los Angeles, and I'm like, oh, I know that river and all that kind of stuff. So with them putting all these different places to see how everybody's reacting to this outbreak is genius, you know, because everybody could relate to something.
So her name is Hope. It's Hope, and the two sisters. I can't remember their names, but they both decide to Hope and Iris. They decide to go to find their dad. Because what the people in their community don't know is that their father has been communicating to them, and he's been sending them messages.
Is
to
that
kind
who
of-
the message was
Yes,
from?
and he's been updating them as to what's
He's
going
like
on.
unsure of safety.
And he goes, I don't know if I'm gonna be okay.
Right.
Stay there. Don't come over here no matter what. So of course you tell a kid not to do
They're
something.
gonna do it.
They're gonna go and do it. And they get another couple of kids with them, and their kind of protector dude. He's kind of like a survival training guide. He's like their Bear Grylls
Okay.
guy. He is like his name's Felix. He is like an enforcer, security, whatever guy for their community.
Okay.
I think eventually he's going to go and search for the kids,
Okay.
for the younger group. They want to go cross country to find their dad. And they've got me hooked. I mean, I'm into it.
I'm into it because it shows like a different aspect. I think I know you're not into the game stuff. The Last of Us 2 had like a story where they start in Seattle, or they travel to Seattle and do this whole long search for a person that they want to be alive and all that kind of stuff. It kind of gives me that kind of vibes. You know, they're younger. It's not like Rick and Daryl are doing a cross-country trip. They're younger. They don't have the same experiences maybe a seasoned zombie killer does. You know what I mean?
You think about what your perspective though too is Carl and Judith. Carl's very young when The Walking Dead when this whole thing starts. Judith is born into it and grows up in it.
So when we meet Carl, Judith at that same age is like shooting people and has a
Sword and a
sword.
cowboy hat and
Right.
Yep.
So it's almost like, how old would you think Judith is in The Walking Dead? Maybe like 7, 8.
I was gonna say she's not older than 10.
No, definitely not
She's
older
got to
than
be
10.
7, 8, 9 years old.
So Carl, he's he used to see video games and all this kind of stuff, and was dealing with real life. So by the time he was 7 and 8, Carl was still like scared of things and like hanging out with moms and crying and all that
Carl still
episode.
has all those things where he kind of does callbacks to trying to be a kid again,
Right.
even though this is not
This
a
is not
thing.
kid stuff.
This is not a life for a kid to grow up in.
Not at
When
all.
he finds like the giant can of the chocolate pudding,
Yeah.
or he goes into one of the houses
And he sees the
finds
video games and stuff.
yeah, and the stacks of comics
Yeah.
and whatever. It's like I was like, oh, I can be a kid again,
Right.
kind of thing. And he can never really go back
No.
to
But
that
but Judith, that's all she knows. This is life. Like,
survival.
yeah, dude. And I think the coolest character in The Walking Dead is Judith, because there's an image of Carl with the hat, the sword, Rick's gun, and Daryl's poncho.
Uh-huh.
And like just to flip that on, like maybe she could be the one that survives this whole thing, because
Right.
I never want to see Daryl get killed off.
No.
You know what I mean? And if it does, the only cool part about it is seeing Judith take over.
So then if you're doing a time jump, like when they would end timeline-wise, when they would end the comic series, you're doing the time jump with Judith
Mm-hmm.
versus Carl,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously Carl is no longer in the series.
R.I.P.
Yeah, that would be cool.
It'd be interesting, man. I think they've definitely brought back the excitement. I wasn't stoked at all for anything The Walking Dead, and now it's like boom, then the sideshow, now there's this. So I'm like, you sold me.
Well, I've got so much stuff to binge, but I'm gonna try to get caught up with Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be
a whole season.
recording it like the next couple of weeks anyway, but I'm going to try to get caught up on Fear the Walking Dead as we go.
I'm a whole season behind.
I haven't seen 4 or 5. I don't think. I don't think I have.
Speaking about seasons, we got a finale today.
It's already released. I saw something posted that it's already out.
I was trying to watch it before we came, but I think they
Oh.
do like what? It's 7:00. Maybe they release at 6 or 7.
I'm going to go home and watch it tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I think this season finale, we already know it's going to be a cliffhanger. We're talking about Boys, by the way.
Of course.
Boys season 2 is wrapping up. We've been covering this for a while now. I think it's going to be, something we'll talk about next week. And then after that, we got Mandalorian. But we're so stoked on The Boys right now because I thought episode 6 was the most badass episode of The Boys, and then 7 came out, and
It keeps
I'm like,
one-upping itself.
excuse me? I'm like, what is happening?
Dude.
You know? Between every fight scene, Starlight and Black Noir, awesome. The nut allergy, awesome. I'm not going too hard because he hasn't seen it.
Right, right.
But I think if you put that up there, and I don't understand why it has like 3.5 stars on, there goes my pen. It has 3.5 stars on Amazon Prime right now. It's so good. It's so good.
They don't know.
I don't know.
That makes no sense to me.
Not at all.
The show is crazy, and it's like you get to the next episode and you're like, okay, well this will be a chill background
Right.
type of thing, and they're gonna give us some more. Nope.
Nope.
And then it's just more insanity.
It starts off with is that the same actor that plays in Stranger Things? The
Which one?
Stormfront fanboy guy in the beginning that ends up
No.
no? Okay.
No.
You know what I'm talking about,
Yes, that's not him.
right?
That's his name is Kalen something or whatever,
That's not him?
or Galen. Yeah, that's not him.
I
He
think
does look like him though.
it looks a lot like him.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, that'd be cool, a little nod.
Yeah.
I think starting off with that and then doing like a parallel of like Homelander's father with Vogelbaum and like Butcher's father.
Well, that's what they should have done.
Have like a little kind of parallel.
They should do that for a future episode. Is that you just show Vogelbaum interacting with Homelander as he's growing up as a kid, and they keep
Right.
doing flashbacks and going back and forth to him maybe 10 years older or 15 years older, and just showing him like start to turn, because he was telling Butcher that he's trying to raise it. He was trying to raise him as a normal kid.
Right. And then he had to be tough, and you have to be all this. You have to be this badass. And the same thing happened with, Volkbaum. He was like, Homelander used to be like a cool kid until they were like, we need you to be the strongest superhero in the world.
Right.
They turn him a little bit and kind of got dark.
It got really dark.
with the experiments with all the like the mom figures and stuff, and he's like crushing them to death and stuff. It gets
Buddy.
again,
Just-
don't watch it with your kids.
This is not a show for children. It's a PSA. Please do not watch this show with young people.
When Lamplighter and Huey were sitting on the couch, and there's all the like the porno parodies of all of the superheroes and stuff.
It's nuts,
The
dude.
names were great, bro.
Dude, and Huey is just he's so I can't explain. Okay, so Huey as a character is perfect for what he's in
Mhm.
because all the rest of the members of the boys are all nuts.
Nutcases.
So he's got to be like sort of I don't want to say wimpy, but
He's
I mean
the
he's gotta
canary.
be- yeah, he's got to be so like, guys, I can't do this. Like, he's always doing that.
Right.
He always has that reaction, like, no, I can't kill anybody. What are you talking about? I can't.
Right.
I can't shoot someone. I
And
can't.
Kimiko comes around the corner with a rocket launcher.
Buddy, it is so crazy. And then you keep waiting for Huey to kind of like he gets to that point, and then he has this moment that I don't think that's going to happen in this finale, but
Mm.
he kind of had that moment in the first season finale, you know, where he just kind of like
He
snaps.
snaps, yeah.
And I think that's so cool is that he gets to a point and then he sees the news report that happens to feature Starlight, and then he says, "Okay, we've got to go. We
Yeah.
got to get down there and whatever else." And he just tells him like, "You've got to take me. You've got to be able to see if you can still get in, whatever."
Yeah,
The lack of security aside, which is pretty funny.
it was really cool. He's like,
"There's
I'm,
no security guards." I
he's
mean,
like,
it's
I'm
just-
either in here or we're gonna get swarmed by a couple guards with AKs.
He's like, "What?"
Boom.
Yeah, dude. And you know, shout out to Sean Ashmore who played Lamplighter. That was Iceman from
The parallel that they
is-
do
that's
is
so
so
great.
good.
That's
dude.
so great that he was you know, he's a guy who can generate balls, frozen, whatever, shooting ice and whatever.
Change the molecules in the sky or in the climate to freeze.
Yeah.
And in this one now he's more of a pyro. He even carries around a knife, or excuse me, a knife.
Lighter.
A lighter.
Yeah.
And he has to have some sort of fire generation to make it, you know, larger, implode or whatever. I think that connection was awesome. Awesome, dude.
I thought it was great, and there could be all kinds of different callbacks
For sure.
to like future seasons where they could tie in some X-Men or some other they could find some, you know, random character. It doesn't have to be one of the leads
Yeah.
from one of these superhero films from the 80s or 90s and bring them in. I think it'd be great.
I think the next season, I think with the success that they got with 2, 3, we'll probably see a lot more guest star, guest feature, stuff like that.
I agree.
Because they're going different routes than they did in the comic.
Yeah.
We saw when Black Noir's face kind of gets shown a little bit that they're not going the same route.
Nope.
Every theory that I've had is out of the window now.
I can't even venture a guess now at who I think.
Really? I have a guess.
I want to know who it is. Who you think?
Giancarlo Esposito. What's his name?
Yep.
The
Giancarlo Esposito.
Esposito. I think it's
Gus Fring.
Gus Fring. I think it's a clone of him. Because that's why he has so much control over him when he was holding Butcher up.
Oh,
and
and he's telling him just like put him down and leave or
Right.
whatever. Oh,
We'll see.
that's interesting.
Because my whole thing was like, I'm like, it's a clone of Butcher, and they're gonna release it, and it's gonna be bleh. And then
And
they're
he's gonna call everybody the that word.
C word.
Yeah, the C word.
And then me and you know who we thought it was in the comic. It's not that person. So
Apparently not.
it's gonna be interesting the way that they see. Because like I said last week, it's cool. I'm glad that they're doing things to where we could watch it and still be surprised. It's not like I know what's gonna happen.
But I think it does something for the fanboys that read all those books,
Yeah.
and when they start to watch it and they go, oh well, it's different than what so it's not like different tellings from Marvel or DC.
Right.
There's only one set of source material for the boys.
Right.
There isn't 3 or 4 different versions of
Right.
this. It was a series and then they adapted it.
Right.
And they're taking the source material
And moving around
and
a
they
little
move
bit.
it around a little bit.
You know, I think that's perfect because there's some movies where you're like, all right, I know Thanos is going to get the gauntlet. I know Thanos is going to do this, or I know Spider-Man is going to do this. This kind of gives you a leeway where you're like, they could play whatever they want to, and it'll be canon because it's following the rules.
No, that's true.
So I'm super stoked on how they're going to do this. This ending is going to be, it's definitely going to be a cliffhanger, but
I think you're right, though. Yeah, I do think it's going to be a cliffhanger. We're going to watch this last season, and they're going to play the end credits. They're going to be like, oh, come on.
of course, it's going to be something where I'm like, oh, we're going to wait 6 more months, 9 more months, however long it's going to be.
However long it is before they get another season started.
Because I think 3, all they did was okay it, right?
They've greenlit it. They haven't started anything. They're trying to fast track this spin-off, whatever it's going to be, Vought University or high school, Vought Academy, whatever it's going to be. We want to talk a little bit about something sort of in relation to The Boys. A trailer came out earlier today that's going to be on Amazon Prime. I imagine they're going to show trailers for that. If you're going to be watching Amazon Prime the next couple of days,
for sure,
it'll probably be on there.
Yeah,
we're talking about Invincible. Robert Kirkman, the guy who brought us The Walking Dead. Invincible was actually the first project that was optioned to be a TV or movie, and the movie project fell through years ago. But Invincible came out, I think, a couple years before Walking Dead actually did. So Invincible has been option for animated series. It's going to be an animated series. It's really violent.
Yeah. It looks to be.
It's going to be really cool. You can look up the cast that they're going to have for like celebrity voices. It's going to be awesome.
So for those who don't know, and I'm just going to get put on some knowledge now, who is the dad and where do they come into continuity with anything?
So there's no continuity with anything as far as their own universe, because I think it was an Image.
I think so too.
An Image comic.
Yeah.
So this kid who becomes Invincible, his father is the OG superhero,
like the Superman.
He is the guy.
Right.
Okay. And him and his wife assume that their son is going to become a superhero at some point, but he never really realizes his powers or gets his powers.
They don't manifest
until he hits a certain age.
Okay.
Kind of like you're going through puberty and then you have superpowers.
Yeah, Superman has to get his.
And then he begins to figure out that not only does he have superpowers, but he's one of the most powerful superheroes that there is.
Period. Like his race of whatever they come from is like super invincible,
yeah. And it's a crazy story. You to get to the first run of it, and I imagine how they're going to do the seasons. When they get to the end of the first season, everybody's jaws are going to drop. I mean,
because there's something that pops off. Okay,
it's going to be cool. Okay. All I can say is if for whenever it's going to come out, if you get a chance, check out Invincible. The comic series ended probably about a year ago.
Okay.
Maybe a little longer. But yeah,
his suit reminds me of Booster Gold.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Right?
That's the first thing I thought of too when I saw it.
I was like, "Oh, this is a Booster Gold show?" And I'm like, "Oh,
it's Booster Gold. He's the strongest superhero there is."
Future wasn't he from the future? And
Booster Gold was from the future too, yeah.
Like
was from the future. Invincible's not from the future.
That's another story.
That's another story.
I think the new big crossover event that we've all been talking about for the last couple weeks, it kind of almost feels like it's like a big, I don't know, Secret Wars or Infinity Wars lead up. X of Swords, huge. We just got 3-4 of Wolverine, and
we got the next 3 parts of 10 of Swords, 3, 4, and 5. Issue 6 of Wolverine is the 3rd part, and then X-Force 13, and then Marauders 13.
Marauders 13.
Yeah. Okay.
Where do you want to start?
Okay, with Benjamin Piercy and Bogdanovich are both they're both working on Wolverine and X-Force. It's the same team that are doing both series, and they overlap. So they both have kind of everything to do with each other. They're telling one story within this 10 of Swords story.
Right.
The Muramasa blade and it being forged, they introduced this character that is like
Solemn.
is pretty crazy with adamantium skin.
So he's the answer to a Wolverine villain where he doesn't need to be some gigantic 9 foot tall beast like Sabretooth or some
Mhm.
kind of like, Wendigo kind of beast.
Yep.
He is a, straight up dude walking around, but he has adamantium skin. So all these crazy moves Wolverine puts on, it's not going to cut through anything. So you got to find something different that's going to mess with this dude, man. Solemn is and it's a brand new character. They just made him up for this series.
They just made him for the series, and going forward, and I could see him being involved in
Easy.
some future stuff with not only Wolverine but the X-Men, maybe X-Force. I mean, it's just been really great. I mean, it's still early in Ten of Swords, like the overall in their storyline. You go to any of your LCSs, you probably still get all, the first 5 parts if you wanted to.
Probably.
It's been really good.
What's it? 3 swords now are confirmed, I think.
Mhm.
3 swords. We got Soul Sword. Magic's been had it. She's in control of Limbo. We've got Muramasa just got found.
Mhm.
You told me this was your favorite part. The Storm arc was
Okay.
awesome, dude.
So, I mean, I think it's kind of bittersweet, because just putting it in context, in Marauders 13, basically, when Part 3 starts, Wolverine and Storm both are sort of like sent off on their own journeys. You have 3 days.
3 days is the whole thing for everybody to find each blade that they're connected to, and each champion to find each blade before this tournament or whatever starts. It's 3 days passing.
And then they're having their showdowns, their respective showdowns, which I think is what Stasis is going to be
Right.
at the end of this month.
Okay.
So we might be talking about that actually on the 29th. Stasis might be out by then, so you might have some showdowns
Cool.
by then. So that's
Bring
gonna be cool. So in Part 5 of Ten of Swords, Storm actually goes to Wakanda,
Mm-hmm.
and she is trying to get permission from T'Challa and Shuri about getting the vibranium sword Skybreaker.
So cool.
The story is really good. It's probably, I was telling you that this is probably the best story
So
that
far.
I think I've read of the series.
In like the last month
It's in like the last month is probably the coolest thing I've read, is that she's trying to get permission, but Storm is like, she's showing like how powerful she is. She's showing you like, all right, I want your permission, but
I can take it.
but I don't need it. I can just take it, and I'm gonna go if not. And now T'Challa and Shuri are upset.
Well, yeah, because first off, to get into Wakanda, if you don't travel miles and miles and know exactly where it is, they have the Krakoan gateway that they travel to, and there's one in Wakanda. So after everything pops off, she takes the blade. Black Panther shows up at the end. All of the Dora Milaje come up like, get her. They're like, no, or he's like, no, let her pass. If she was stealing this, or if she's stealing this, it's for a good reason. Let her take it. She's not putting no harm against anybody. Lets her leave, but destroys the gateway.
Yeah.
So it also, Wakanda has always been its own private entity, no matter where, states, country, world, anything. They always just want their own thing. They can do it themselves. This furthermore shows that they don't want anything to do with either mutants, humans, the country. They just want to be Wakanda.
And I think it further it kind of shows you further like this is the first time that I picked up a book that had Black Panther featured in the story since Chadwick Boseman passed.
Yeah, man.
So it made it kind of like bittersweet in that sense too.
Right, when he shows up at the end, I'm like, oh, there he is. He has the mask off. I'm like, oh no.
And it was kind of weird, like, and to be thinking about that.
Right.
And you guys know that they've been doing this thing in Marvel, is that they've got like the headers on all of the Marvel books. Rest in Power, Chadwick Boseman.
So cool.
And they're going to be doing that for a few more weeks. I think they do it for a full month.
That's cool, man.
As far as the credits, like the majority of the Marvel books, if not all of the Marvel books, I think are doing that as like headers across, and that's a real class move on Marvel's part. And I think that was kind of neat because I don't really read Avengers, and to see him kind of kind of semi-mentioned, featured in this story
Yeah, because
was really cool.
when Storm shows up, it's like the Queen Mother and Shuri and like Black Panther's out avenging, doing something. Like they had him doing his own mission, and he was out prior, but then he shows up, and even like you said, for me, I was like, oh man, that sucks. You know, like
It was a weird feeling.
yeah, dude.
But the story was really cool, and this whole story overall has been good, and I think it's only going to get better. I mean, Hickman's like he's outlined this whole thing for us. I mean, I think it's going to be really cool.
Hellions is next.
Hellions is the next part. Yeah, there's 2 or 3 parts next week, and then there's going to be a few. It's going to be done in December.
With Gorgon or no?
I think it's Gorgon and I don't remember.
Cypher, I think.
Maybe.
They're going over Cypher and like the aliens.
I think it's Gorgon, and then they do New Mutants, and then Cypher is in New Mutants. I can't. They may flip flop. I'm not sure.
Makes sense.
But yeah.
I'm stoked either way, man. They sold me.
Yeah.
Sold me.
There's 17 more parts. I mean, I'm already sold.
It's gonna be a while until everything kind of gets figured out, but it gives us something to look forward to. As you, as a comic collector, as me, as just a historian behind it, I just want to know what are they doing? How is this gonna end?
Right.
What's Scarab? What is Apocalypse doing?
Dude.
Cable is what's going on? You know what I mean? And I'm so stoked to see how this plays out.
I can't wait. I think I might reread that tonight.
It's a good one.
Guys, we're really glad that you take the time to check us out, to watch our episodes. We are on the Insta at Into the West Comics.
We also got, if you guys check out, we got some new characters. We got some new logos up in there. Shout out to Leslie. Some different color designs. We'll have some cool stuff out later with, hats and shirts and stickers and all that good jazz.
And masks. You get a mask.
I want to get a mask.
I want to get something breathable, though.
Every time I put on a mask, I'm out here sweating in these episodes.
They put the Deadpool mask on you, and you're sweating.
I'll do another mask coming soon for
Are
sure.
you gonna wear it for the whole episode?
We've been doing it. The last mask we did the whole episode.
I know.
We might.
That was hot.
Literally.
I was sweating. My fat face can keep the mask on.
Oh, I remember.
Guys, really, again, thank you for just tuning in and checking us out. Please like and subscribe.
Comment, share, like, subscribe. We always appreciate the love.
Live show October 29th. Coming soon.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it. We'll see you next week. For Sonny, I am Frank. Talk to you soon.
Go wash some hands, man.
Go read some comics.
Peace.